Welcome back, fellow creators. In today's video, we're going to discuss some recent developments that we've seen with TikTok that, in my opinion, is really going to be the tipping point for some interesting change with not just the algorithm, but the user base on TikTok as well. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below, and let's go ahead and get started with point number one. So, first thing I want to discuss is the trajectory of TikTok's user base. I want to start kind of broad here because TikTok, as we all know, is predominantly for the younger generations. And TikTok had recently mentioned a couple weeks ago on their Twitter, which, by the way, if you're not following any of their Twitter handles, it's a great place for learning just little tidbits about the platform that they don't choose to share in their transparency center or their newsroom. They recently mentioned, though, that they feel they really maxed out on a lot of the younger demographics. Think about it strategically and just demographically as well. What teen is not sitting in the classroom that does not have TikTok installed on their mobile device? Pretty much everyone does. Where TikTok is really starting to transition towards in this latter half of 21, and we've seen this ever since July when they announced a lot of partnerships with different corporations and Shopify. We'll talk about that in just a second. We're starting to see TikTok transition more toward presenting the platform as this viable opportunity for brands, for businesses, for the career-focused professionals. We've seen TikTok take a step toward the educators and the small businesses by introducing the 2 to 3 minute long feature, which came out in July of this past year. The Shopify partnership, which is going to give profiles that have a business account the ability to actually link products on their profile where you can click on and you can be taken directly to a checkout, and you can all do this through TikTok. Here's what TikTok actually has to say. Creators are paving the way for a new kind of entrepreneurship where content, community, and commerce are key. By enabling new in-app shopping experiences and product discovery on TikTok for the first time, Shopify is powering the creator economy on one of the fastest growing social and entertainment platforms in the world. But I say this and reference this selection to make the point that TikTok is really not only trying to focus on presenting the platform as this opportunity for businesses, but also giving us as creators more monetization tools that we can make use of to actually turn a profit on the platform as well, and also engage with our audience better. We've seen this with a live scheduling feature, with a playlist feature. There's a couple that are going to be coming out later in this year as well that I think are going to be super exciting. And speaking of which, I actually recently just put out on this channel a video on how to leverage TikTok for businesses. We talk about different ways you can rank your content on the discovery page, how to drive conversions and sales, cross-pollinate, redirect audiences to other websites on the internet, whatever the objective is. So if that fits the bill for you, you can check that out down below. The next thing I want to get into is the timeline for content distribution on TikTok. It's been a common occurrence, more so now than ever, where someone will post a video and there'll be 0 views on that video for a while. There's actually a lot of reasons why a video might have 0 views, and I do have a video on this that discusses this in a full 10-minute long discussion. But the reason we're starting to see now is I think is twofold. Number one, and I have to do a little bit more research and study on this. This is not conclusive, so do take this with a grain of salt. But since the algorithm often does distribute content in waves, we're seeing now where comments will show up on videos, likes will show up on videos, but the video, for whatever reason, is just not displaying the view count. It'll sit at 0 views, or none of the metrics will show up, but the content is being seen by other people. And we've had people in multiple groups, in our Discord communities, actually confirm seeing a video on the For You page or following someone and seeing that video, but the view count not updating on that creator who posted that video's account. So I think what we're seeing is just this delayed reaction, if you will, where it may be based on the tiered structure of the algorithm, whereas many of you are familiar with this, TikTok distributes your videos based on groups. And the probability of that video moving on to a bigger group, potentially a viral group, is going to be based on whatever the response was from the previous group, whether that was your fan base or just a small selection of people from the For You page. So I say this to give you the assurance that it's becoming a little bit more normal now to see videos that sit at 0 views. This is especially the case with brand new profiles where you'll often output some content. The first 10 videos will sit at 0 views, and you'll notice them gradually start to build up traction. We've kind of likened this to the tax audit process. Sometimes TikTok will just pick random accounts where it sees content that maybe it thinks is copyrighted, its AI flags it internally for whatever reason, and so you kind of have these videos that are sitting at a 0 view threshold and you just have to keep outputting. So give it around 24 to 48 hours. The other thing I want to mention too is keep in mind, and this is why the analytics are really your best friend, look at the international territory territories you're reaching. Sometimes, and this is why people often go to bed and then wake up and see a viral video, is your video is not pushed out to certain territories worldwide on TikTok because maybe you do have a big audience portion from Russia or China and you're based in an English-speaking continent like North America, for example. So keep that in mind. Speaking of the territories as well, a lot of people have asked, I'll address this question now, why the percentages don't always equal 100 in your analytics. I've got a really simple answer to this, and it's the fact that TikTok simply just shows the top 5 regions of distribution, and sometimes there's 10, and the top 5 does not make 100%, and TikTok just displays the top 5 anyway. The next update I want to share with you are the shortcomings that we've seen on TikTok in these past few months, really the major frustrations that people have and where I think TikTok is headed as far as resolving these issues go. Believe me, as someone who connects with creators on a daily basis, I feel the frustration. I sympathize with the videos that are getting unjustifiably taken down because of ridiculous reasons. The barf emoji being used too many times in the text bubbles. Yes, that was a real reason TikTok gave. We had one of our TikTok Creator Pro students actually have his profile banned because of the fact he had the phrase 11 years of experience in his industry in his bio. TikTok flagged him as a minor because of that little 11 years portion and completely banned his account. Luckily, we were able to get it reinstated. Everything is completely back to normal now, but it's just those ridiculous out of context iron fists that comes down on creators that leaves us really with little recourse. I think a lot of this is simply due to a lack of a quality support system, an over-reliance on TikTok's AI, and they just have a poor update system as well. A lot of you remember September 5th, just this past month, we had, in the analytics, we called this Test Sunday. It was a Sunday, and what you saw is all the titles in the analytics said test. So when it said traffic source types, it said test 8. At the very top where it said watch time, for example, it said test 7. I don't know what was going on. I got multiple screenshots from different creators, but TikTok was just going through an inefficient update process, and that inefficiency is not just limited to the updates of the platform. Another big issue, obviously, that a lot of you have seen is spam accounts, impersonations, scam comments. TikTok is try to combat this in a few different ways. They've introduced 2-factor authentication now to prevent people from losing login access. They have to verify it usually with an email and then a text confirmation code as well, making it less susceptible to outsiders hijacking accounts. They've also introduced more policing and moderation capabilities for creators in the comment section, in the live chat as well. You can ban keywords, and I know a feature that they're working on coming out is actually banning usernames as well. So if it uses, let's just say, a variation of your handle and it's someone impersonating you, you should be able to crack down on that, which I think will significantly reduce the amount of people that are being preyed upon by these false opportunities. The next thing I want to share is the fact that we've noticed in a few cases that comments on videos have been the reason why the video has gotten taken down. For example, a topic that's very, very highly controversial or something that touches upon a certain keyword that maybe is a little bit contentious. I don't want to give examples here, so I don't want to get canceled, but there's been some examples where videos have gotten taken down and it was for a specific reason. For example, harassment and bullying, or sexuality and pornography, for example. And then we've looked at the comment section and those have been the subject of discussion, even though the video itself had nothing to do with any of those guideline violations. We're seeing this over and over again. There's been a few examples where TikTok has given a reason why videos were taken down, and it's exactly what the comments were discussing. So there's a lot of evidence to show that if you have a out of control comment section, that can sometimes result in a video getting taken down. The next update I want to share with you is actually a pretty significant one. This is something that we've actually already covered in our TikTok Creator Pro live streams. And this is the fact that the For You page ratio, which is something we can see in our analytics on any individual video, does not equal just new viewers seeing your content. There's a few different ideas here that I want to be very, very clear in the way I communicate, so let's unpack this. There's a video that a lot of you have been sending me on Instagram recently of a woman on TikTok who's been claiming that the biggest update that we've seen in the past month or so is the fact that videos, are no longer distributed on TikTok based on the response from your audience. It's based on a small percentage of people on the For You, a small batch of people, and then it starts to climb the ranks based on those new people seeing your content. Now, this is not necessarily wrong per se. I think there is some truth here. Some of these elements have actually always existed on TikTok and have kind of been a common denominator on the platform, especially the way the algorithm is tiered. But one thing I would tend to disagree with and maybe challenge the opinion of is the fact that I really highly doubt TikTok is transitioning away and pivoting, deviating from your audience being that go-to way to gauge true interest in your content. That's the purpose of an audience. That's why a lot of social media platforms give you the ability to amass a following in the first place, is if there are people that believe in your ideas and follow you because they enjoy your content, those are usually the first review panels you would go to. The reason I mention this is because we're actually starting to see, to the credit of this video, a transition on the For You page. And that transition is something that TikTok has kind of already hinted at with different polls that they put on Twitter. They were asking people, where did the majority of people consume content on TikTok? The answer is pretty much the default answer that I'm assuming you would give, and that's the For You page, which really undervalues the following tab. 93% of people answer the For You page, as would I. That's where we consume a lot of the content. What we're starting to see with the For You page is it's really becoming this melting pot of people that follow profiles are seeing creators that they follow on the For You page and not just on the following tab. And we're seeing this validated by the fact that we're seeing videos on profiles that have 0% For You page ratios. They have massive following ratios, they have massive personal profile ratios, yet their audience is still seeing that content on the For You page. We've conducted a few Discord focus groups on this idea. We've talked about this on Reddit briefly, which is a great subreddit. I'll link it down below if you're interested. And our conclusion is that, number one, you're starting to see more content from the creators that you follow on the For You, because that's where everyone wants to be. And number two is the fact that even if you do follow someone and you see their content on the For You, chances are you're not going to show up as a For You page viewer, you're going to show up as a following viewer in the analytics. So expect to see a greater ratio of following. It's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just TikTok's new and improved way of classifying the different kinds of viewers that view your content. Let's talk about the algorithm very briefly. There's a few updates here, just nuances that I want to share that I think are very important to understand. The first thing I want to say and preface this with is I really don't believe the algorithm is changing as much as we'd like to think it to. I know that's not the cool and sexy answer here. I know a lot of people want to hear the likes are the new priority or TikTok is changing things up very dramatically. I'm not really seeing that, and the data that we've conducted so far and analyzed doesn't really reflect that. There's a video that we've got coming out soon that I don't want to hype up too much, but it really takes a scientific approach and looks at TikTok's algorithm, and we actually analyze thousands and thousands of different videos. And there's a few things that obviously we have come to a conclusion to and shared in previous videos here on this channel. One thing I do want to mention, and let this kind of be a challenge, maybe an action step for this video, we've had a few creators in some of our advanced Discord groups and even in our private communities as well say that the difference between videos that have gotten, for example, 60 million views and then 1 million views, but had the exact same watch time and the exact same engagement ratios, the difference between those videos has been the personal profile views. The amount of people that are looking at your content, viewing it, and then going over to your profile to check out the rest of you, for example. It would make sense that TikTok would prioritize that because it's a really good metric to gauge true interest in your content. It's not something that can be easily artificially manipulated. So maybe this next week or for the month of October and November and December, maybe focus a little bit more on encouraging people to swipe right to your profile. If there's something that you can plant the seed of in your video that you can harvest in the form of something in your bio that people can take a look at. It's just why we've talked about a series being so powerful, is it's a great incentive for people to keep tabs on you as a creator, and there's a continuous idea. It's not just limited to one video. The other thing I feel that is worth mentioning is just kind of a cultural shift we've seen. We are now in the season where kids are going back to school, college students are returning to their previous left studies, so there is a general pullback of activity on TikTok, which is going to result in lower views and the algorithm distributing your content less. If things are on a little bit of a negative trajectory right now and they've kind of plateaued in these last few weeks or are going to plateau in October, November, December, I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's just something we'd expect to see. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to be really concise and short with this video. So if you enjoyed this information, I'm really curious to hear your thoughts, what your experience has been with your profile over these last few weeks or so. Let me know in the comments down below. Leave a like on this video if you enjoyed this content, and we'll catch you guys next time.